Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are heading to the French Alps, but I want to start with a bit of a mental exercise. When I say Chamonix, what is the immediate image that pops into your head?
Intimidation. Honestly, a healthy dose of fear. You picture the Aiguille du Midi, that needle of rock just piercing the sky at, 3,800 meters?
Yeah, that crazy spire.
And you picture guys in full Gore-Tex suits, harnesses, ice axes, ropes coiled over their shoulders. And they all look extremely serious.
Right. It's the death-defying capital of the world. It's where alpinism was born. It's steep, it's glaciated, and there's this palpable pressure to perform. You go there to prove something right.
Yeah.
It's all about bragging rights.
It is the ego capital of skiing, without a doubt. If you aren't scaring yourself, you aren't doing it right. At least that's the prevailing narrative.
Exactly. But today we are doing something completely different. We are turning our backs on the famous peaks, the harnesses, and all the bragging rights. We are looking at the resort that sits right at the entrance of that valley. The one that most of the hardcore crowd drives right past without a second glance.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about Les Houches.
So-called ugly duckling of the Chamonix Valley.
That's the reputation, isn't it? It's often dismissed as a low-altitude family hill, the place you go to teach your toddler to do a pizza plow, not where you go to shred.
Right.
So the central tension we're exploring today is why. Why would a serious skier, someone who wants deep powder and adrenaline, waste their time here?
Because skiing doesn't happen on a spreadsheet or an Instagram feed. It happens in the real world where weather exists.
Yeah.
And if you talk to the locals, the mountain guides, the seasonairs who've lived there for 20 years, they don't look at Les Houches as an ugly duckling at all.
What do they see it as?
They look at it as a strategic reserve.
A strategic reserve. I like that phrasing. So this isn't just a travel review. We're really analyzing a storm strategy. We're trying to figure out if this place is a secret weapon for when the rest of the valley fails, or if it's just a trap where you'll be bored out of your mind skiing rolling meadows.
And to do that, we have to look at the logistics, the meteorology, and the economics in a way most travel guides they don't. Because there is a way to do Les Houches that saves you a fortune and gets you the best know of your life.
And the other way.
And there is a way to do it where you end up walking 3 miles in ski boots, carrying your gear, miserable and wet, and wondering why you didn't just go to Colorado.
Okay, so we're going to cover those specific traps, the ski and ski outlie, the bus system nightmare, and the safety risks that are actually quite unique to this specific mountain. But let's start with the context. To understand why Les Houches even matters, we have to understand the problem with the rest of Chamonix. Why are the big names like Grands Montets or Brevant such a logistical headache in January and February?
It all comes down to geography and, physics. The Chamonix Valley is a deep V shape. The famous resorts, the ones you see in all the movies, are what we call high alpine. They sit way, way up in the sky, well above the tree line.
How high are we talking?
Grand Montet goes up to nearly 3,300 meters. It is stark, beautiful, and completely exposed.
And January and February are the peak storm months for the Alps.
Correct. You get these massive low-pressure systems rolling off the Atlantic Ocean. They travel across France, and they slam into the Alps. Because the Mont Blanc Massif is the highest barrier in Western Europe, it acts like a wall. It catches everything.
So when you say storm, we aren't just talking about lovely falling snowflakes and, hot cocoa weather.
No, we're talking about wind, violent wind. We regularly see gusts of 100, 120, even 150 kilometers per hour at the summit stations. When that happens, the lift operators have zero choice.
They shut it down.
They go on wind hold.
Explain wind hold for someone who hasn't been stuck in it. Is it just like an over-the-top safety precaution?
Not at all. It's physics. The cable cars, the big trams, are suspended on these massive cables. If the wind is too high, the cabin starts to swing.
Like a pendulum.
Exactly. And if it swings too much, it can hit the pylon. That's a catastrophic event. So they shut down the top lifts. They absolutely have to.
And then there's the visibility issue.
Right. If you are above the tree line in a storm, you are inside a ping pong ball. White sky, white ground. You get vertigo because your eyes have no reference point. You don't know if you're moving or standing still. You literally cannot tell which way is down. It's incredibly disorienting.
So picture the scene. You've spent thousands on this trip. It's Tuesday morning. It's dumping snow. You're excited. You get to the lift station at Grands Montets
and the lights are red, closed. Or, even worse, they only open the very bottom lift, which is usually just a tiny beginner chair that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Now imagine 15,000 skiers in the valley, all trying to funnel in to the 20% of terrain that is actually open.
It becomes a mosh pit.
It's carnage.
Yeah.
2-hour lift lines are standard in that scenario. I've seen fights break out in the queue.
Seriously.
Yeah, people get very tense. And that fresh snow everyone is chasing, that beautiful powder, it's tracked out in 45 minutes. It turns into a mogul field instantly. It's a miserable, miserable, expensive experience.
Enter the Les Houches solution. How is the geography different here, and why does it solve this very specific problem?
So Les Houches sits at the very entrance of the valley. And crucially, it is lower. The skiing is mostly between 1,000 meters and 1,900 meters. But the single most important factor is the vegetation.
The trees.
It is covered, top to bottom, in dense pine forests.
So the trees are the technology here. They're the solution.
The trees are your reference points. They're your safety net. When you're in a storm, the trees provide contrast. You can see the dark trunks against the white snow. That allows your brain to map the terrain. You can see the bumps, the hollows.
Yeah.
You can actually ski with confidence because you can see where you are going.
So while the cool kids are sitting in a cafe in Chamonix, doom-scrolling on their phones and complaining about the wind hold, the people in Les Houches are actually skiing.
They're having the time of their lives. Les Houches is often the only place in the entire valley that stays fully open during a storm cycle. The wind doesn't shut down the lower drag lifts or the gondolas because they're protected by the forest. The wind just goes right over the top.
But we have to manage expectations here. You aren't getting 45-degree spines or cliffs to jump off, right? This isn't an extreme skiing movie location.
No, absolutely not. If you go there expecting to film your next Red Bull segment, you will be disappointed. The terrain it's rolling. Remember, historically, this is ancient pasture land.
For cows.
For cows, exactly. It's bumpy, it's playful. Think of it like a natural skate park made of snow. Little pillars to jump off, weird little gullies, wind lips. It's fun, but it's not extreme.
Narnia-like, in the term I saw in one of the reviews. That feels evocative.
It fits perfectly. On a snowy day, it feels enclosed and magical. And here is the strategic kicker. Because the pros ignore it, the snow in the trees stays fresh.
Oh, that's a great point.
In Grands Montes, the powder is gone by 9:30 a.m. It's a feeding frenzy. In Les Houches, because there are fewer people skiing off-piste, you can often find fresh lines at 2 in the afternoon.
That's a massive difference in the quality of experience. You're trading vertical drop and steepness for snow quality and a lack of crowds.
Precisely. It's a trade-off. You are sacrificing adrenaline for joy. On a bad weather day, it is the only winning move on the chessboard.
Let's talk about the vibe of the place, because Chamonix town is, well, it's intense. It's busy, it's loud, it's full of traffic. It feels like a city.
Chamonix is a city in the mountains. It has rush hour. It smells of diesel, fondue cheese, and expensive perfume. It's high energy, high stress.
Then Les Houches.
It's a complete sensory shift. The moment you get off the train, which, by the way, is barely a platform, just a slab of concrete near an underpass, the first thing you notice is the silence.
Really? That noticeable.
Oh, absolutely. It's quiet. And it smells different. It smells like wood smoke and pine needles.
It feels more agricultural.
Because it is. There are working farms right next to the ski chalets. You'll see a tractor driving down the road. It feels like a place where real people live, not just a tourist factory, designed to extract your money as efficiently as possible.
And the view is interesting. Usually when you're right under a mountain, you can't really see it. You're too close.
It's the front row at the cinema problem.
Yeah.
In Chamonix, you're craning your neck to see the summits. But Les Houches sits back a bit, just at the mouth of the valley.
So you get the full picture.
You have this panoramic, widescreen view of the entire Mont Blanc Massif. You see the Aiguille du Midi, the Dôme du Goûter, Mont Blanc itself. It puts the whole valley into perspective. It's arguably the best view in the valley because you can truly see the scale of it all.
But let's not romanticize the town layout too much. It's not exactly a cute gingerbread Swiss village with cobblestones, is it?
No, and travelers need to know this so they aren't disappointed. Les Houches suffers from what urban planners call ribbon development.
Meaning?
The town just stretches along the main road for kilometers. There isn't really a compact, walkable center with a square and a clock tower. It's very spread out.
Which impacts the vibe. It doesn't have that après-ski buzz where everyone spills out into the street.
Not at all. It's sleepy. You go there to ski and sleep, not to party. And the infrastructure on the mountain reflect that old-school French vibe, too.
We're talking about the lifts.
Oh, yes. Expect drag lifts. Lots of them. And these aren't the gentle button lifts you find on beginner slopes. These are the steep, jerky French tire fesses, which literally means butt pullers, that launch you into the air at the start.
So hard on snowboarders.
If you are a snowboarder, you might find yourself cruising quite a bit. There are flat spots where you have to unstrap and skate. It's a workout.
It's not the seamless heated seat bubble cover experience you get in, say, Austria.
Not at all. It feels utilitarian.
Right.
And then you have the Bellevue cable car. That thing is essentially an aerial cattle truck. It's vintage.
Yeah.
And at the top, you cross the tracks of the Tramway du Mont Blanc. It looks like a scene from the 1920s.
It has charm, but it's not efficient.
It's slow travel applied to skiing. If you are a Type A personality and need high-speed quads everywhere, you will hate it. If you can appreciate the nostalgia, it's lovely.
Let's move on to the economics. This is where the strategy really pays off for the wallet. There is a specific trap with the lift passes that catches almost everyone, isn't there?
This is the financial aha moment. This is huge. When you go to Chamonix, the marketing machine pushes you aggressively toward the Mont Blanc Unlimited Pass, the MBU.
The all-access pass.
Right. They sell it as the ultimate freedom.
What does that cover exactly?
Everything. It covers all the Chamonix resorts, Les Houches, the top of the Aiguille du Midi sightseeing, the train to the glacier, even over into Italy and Courmayeur. Sounds great. Costs about 75 to 80 euros a day.
And people buy it because they have FOMO. They don't want to be limited. They think, I've come all this way, I want to ski everything.
Right. But here is the storm strategy. If you are going for a short trip, say a long weekend, and the forecast looks bad, do not buy the MBU.
Why not? Walk us through the math.
Because if the weather is bad, the high resorts that justify the MBU's price Grands Montes, the Midi cable car, will be closed. You are paying a premium for access that doesn't physically exist that day. You are paying for a closed door.
So what do you do instead?
You buy the Les Houches local pass. It's roughly 50 to 55 euros. You buy it day by day. You save about 25 euros per person per day.
If you're a family of 4, that's 100 euros a day. Over a 4-day weekend, that's 400 euros.
Exactly, that pays for all your lunches and dinners. And since Les Houches is likely the only place open anyway, you aren't missing out on anything. You're just not paying for closed lifts.
Now, the caveat, obviously, is if you're there for a week.
Yeah, if you're there for 6 or 7 days, get the MBU. You will want to ski the big mountains when the sun finally comes out. But for a short, stormy trip, the local pass is the smart play. It's a no-brainer.
What about accommodation? Is it actually cheaper or just less expensive?
It is significantly cheaper than the tiny apartments in Chamonix. In Chamonix, you often pay a lot for what I call a shoebox, a 20-square-meter studio where the bed folds out of the wall and you can touch the stove from the shower.
I know those places.
We all do. In Les Houches, for the same price, you can get a proper chalet apartment. We're talking 250 to 300 euros a night for 4 people. That's 75 a head for a place with a living room and separate bedrooms.
That brings us to food. I've heard rumors that the on-mountain food in Les Houches is surprisingly good, which is, rare for a ski resort.
It's one of the best-kept secrets.
Yeah.
The Chamonix Valley generally is notorious for terrible, overpriced mountain food. It's a captive market. You know the drill, 25 euros for spaghetti that tastes like cardboard and a lukewarm Coke served on a plastic tray?
It's insulting, frankly.
It is. But in Les Houches, remember those farms I mentioned? The restaurants are often converted farmhouses that have been in the same family for generations. They actually care about the food.
Any specific names we should drop for the foodies?
Vieille Luge is the gold standard. It's an old farmhouse, incredibly cozy, wood everywhere. You're eating farçon, which is this local potato dish with bacon, cream, and dried fruit, and great reblochon cheese. It costs about the same as the bad food elsewhere, maybe 20 to 25 euros, but the quality is light years ahead.
So you actually want to sit there for an hour?
You don't want to leave. And for dinner, since there isn't a big town center, where do people go?
Good question.
There's a spot called the Kitsch Inn near the Bellevue lift. It's British-run, great burgers, local beers, live music. It captures the vibe of the place. It's completely unpretentious.
That word unpretentious seems to be the theme here.
It really is. You look around the room in Les Houches, and you see families, you see budget-conscious groups of friends. You do not see the fur coat crowd you find in Courchevel or Megève. No one is posing for photos with a magnum of champagne. It's just real. It's refreshing.
However, we have to talk about the traps. Because if you go in blind thinking it's just a simpler resort, Les Houches can be a logistical nightmare. There are 3 big ones we need to flag.
These are the things that ruin vacations if you aren't prepared. I call them the patience testers.
Okay, trap number 1, the ski and seek out lie.
Oh, this is a classic Airbnb problem. You'll see listings claiming ski kill and ski out. In Les Houches, That term is used, let's just say, creatively.
Define creative.
Skiing might mean you can ski to within 500 meters of the house, but then you have to take your skis off, cross a muddy field, dodge a tractor, cross a busy road, and maybe jump a fence.
And doing that in ski boots is miserable.
It's the clump of shame. And remember, Les Houches is on the side of a steep valley. The roads are icy and uphill. Walking a kilometer in ski boots, there is a serious workout. It ruins the start and end of your day.
So how do you avoid this trap?
Don't trust the listing blindly. Open up a satellite map. Unless the place is literally on the allowed piste, it's the blue run that goes to the bottom, or right next to the Bavarian gondola, just assume you are walking.
And if you aren't right on the piste, what's the fix?
Rent a locker. There are heated lockers at the Bavarian lift station. It's cheap. Leave your skis and boots there overnight. Walk to the lift in your comfortable sneakers. It changes your life.
Trap number 2, the bus system. I've heard horror stories about Line 1.
This is the one that breaks people. On paper, the Chamonix bus system is great. It's free with your lift pass. Line 1 runs the whole length of the valley, connecting Les Houches to the other resorts. Sounds perfect.
On paper being the operative phrase.
In reality, between 8:30 and 9:30 in the morning, that bus is a rolling sardine can. It starts in Les Houches. By the time it gets to the third or fourth stop, it is full. Physically full.
So the driver just drives past?
He doesn't even slow down. I've seen families standing there in the freezing cold, watching 3 buses in a row drive right past them without stopping. They're missing their ski lesson. The kids are crying. The parents are furious. It's incredibly stressful.
So what is the strategy?
If you stay in Les Houches, ski in Les Houches. That's the simple answer. Don't try to commute to Grand Montes every day on the bus. It's just too unreliable. If you must go to Chamonix,
There's another way.
take the train. It's slower, but it runs on a schedule, and you will actually get on. It's the secret weapon for reliable transport.
Okay, trap number 3, the French lunch shutdown. This is a cultural quirk that catches Americans and Brits off guard constantly.
You have to respect the lunch break. In the U.S. or U.K., we expect commerce to happen 24/7. In rural France, between 12:30 p.m. and 2:30 p.m., the world just, it stops. Pharmacies, bakeries, grocery shops, hardware stores. If you hurt your knee and need ibuprofen at 1 p.m., bad luck. If you ran out of bread for sandwiches, bad luck. The shopkeeper is eating lunch with their family, as they should.
So plan your logistics, do your shopping before noon or after 3 p.m.
Exactly. Don't fight the culture. Just adapt to it. It's actually quite nice. Once you get used to it, it forces you to slow down a bit.
Okay, let's get serious for a moment. We've talked a lot about Les Houches being a family resort, which implies it's safe, it's gentle, but there's a dark side to that assumption, isn't there?
There is. And the danger actually comes from that assumption. It's a psychological trap. We call it complacency.
Because it looks like a park, you treat it like a park.
Right. You don't see the massive crevasses you see on the glaciers, so you let your guard down. You ski faster than you should. You pay less attention. But there are specific hazards here that will hurt you if you aren't paying attention. The first one is the summer farm factor.
We mentioned the cows earlier.
Right. In the summer, these slopes are pastures. To keep the cows in, farmers use fences, often barbed wire fences.
And in winter.
The fences stay there. They don't take them down, they just get buried. But here's the thing. In a low snow year or an early season, they might only be buried by 30 or 40 centimeters of snow, just under the surface.
That is a terrifying thought.
It is. You see a beautiful, untouched field of powder between 2 pits. It looks perfect. You think, I'm going to rip that. You dive in at speed.
And your Steve finds the wire.
Or your leg finds the wire.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories of people ripping $1,000 Gore-Tex pants, or worse, needing stitches because they snagged a barb while turning. It's the faux powder field trap. You have to know the terrain. If you see a line of fence posts sticking out, assume there is wire connecting them under the snow. Do not cross it.
Wow. Okay, the second hazard is unique to the forest. Tree wells.
This is basic physics, but people forget it. Pine trees have big, dense branches that catch the snow. So the snow doesn't pile up tightly around the trunk, it piles up further out. This creates a hollow, loose space right around the base of the tree. A well.
And if you fall.
If you fall headfirst into that well, you are effectively pinned. Your skis are in the air. You can't leverage yourself out because the snow around you is loose sugar. It acts like quicksand. It is a genuine suffocation hazard.
And happens silently.
That's the scary part. You just disappear, which is why the golden rule of tree skiing is never, ever ski the trees alone. Always have a buddy who is watching you and stays within shouting distance. No exceptions.
And the third hazard is the ice. We talked about how low altitude is good for visibility, but it has a downside for snow quality.
It's the melt-freeze cycle. The sun hits these lower slopes during the day, the top layer melts just a little bit, the sun goes down, temperatures drop, and that wet layer freezes into a solid sheet of ice.
The Kandahar run is famous for this.
The Les Houches. It's a World Cup downhill course. It is steep, and in the morning, it can be bulletproof. I mean, we're talking blue ice that you can see your reflection in.
So if you bring your fat, dull, rock-bashing skis that you use for powder...
You're going to slide for 500 meters, absolutely terrified. You need sharp edges. You need to be able to carve.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the morning ice here.
Yeah.
It demands respect.
Despite the risks, the barbed wire, the ice, the tree wells, there is a reason people keep coming back. There are these moments where it all just clicks.
The Narnia moments.
I want to paint that picture for the listener because we've talked a lot about logistics and warnings. What does it feel like when you get it right?
Okay, imagine it's a Tuesday in late January. The rest of the valley is completely shut down. The wind is howling up high. You can hear it roaring over the peaks, this distant freight train sound. But down in Les Houches, it's calm.
You take the Prairie and gondola up.
You get out, the visibility is maybe 20 meters, it's snowing hard, these big fat flakes. You drop off the back, towards the table orientation,
Yeah.
you slip into the trees.
And the world changes.
Instantly, the wind stops completely, it's dead silent. The only sound is your own breathing and the whomp of snow compressing under your skis. The trees are heavy with snow, bending over like arches. You're in knee-deep, untracked powder.
And there's no one else there.
No one. You're weaving through these ancient pine trees. It feels like a secret garden. You get into a rhythm, turn, bounce, turn, bounce. It's not about speed or danger. It's about flow. It feels safe and wild at the same time.
That sounds incredible.
That is the soul of the resort. When you catch it on a day like that, honestly, it beats waiting in line for the Aiguille du Midi any day of the week.
But to be fair, we have to talk about the disappointments too. It's not always Narnia.
No. This strategy is highly weather dependent. If you go in March or during a warm spell, the magic dies very, very fast.
Because it's low altitude.
If it's 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, the bottom of the resort turns to brown slush or mud. You end up skiing through puddles. It ruins your gear and it's dangerous for your knees.
And you end up having to download on the gondola because you can't ski to the bottom.
It's sad. It feels like the mountain is giving up. If the snow is bad in Les Houches, it's really bad. So check the forecast. Do not book Les Houches for a late April spring skiing trip. You'll be disappointed.
If Les Houches doesn't sound like the right fit, maybe it's too quiet or you're worried about the snow quality, what are the alternatives in the area?
If you like the idea of trees and a cute village but want something a bit more upscale, look at Saint-Gervais. It's just around the corner. In fact, it shares the ski area with Les Houches via the tramway.
But the town is different.
Very different. It's a proper spa town. It has grand old hotels from the turn of the century, thermal baths, a beautiful historic center. It feels a bit more bourgeois, a bit more chic.
And if you just want to ski hard and you don't care about charm or silence,
Then you go to the opposite end of the spectrum, Argentière. That is the base for Les Grands Monts.
describe the vibe there.
It's the polar opposite of Les Houches. It sits in the shadow of the mountain, so it's cold and dark in the mornings. It's steep. It's full of ski bums living in vans. It's gritty. That is where you go for technical terrain and steep lines. But don't expect farm-to-table dining or polite lifties. It's raw.
So we've put together a suggested safari itinerary for someone who wants to do this right. How would you structure a one-week trip to get the best of both worlds?
I would actually base myself in Les Houches to save money and get that quiet sleep. That's key.
Okay, day 1 and 2.
Use the first couple of days, especially if a storm is rolling in, to ski the Les Houches trees, get your legs back, enjoy the powder, avoid the crowds, let the storm pass while you are in the safety and silence of the forest.
Then the weather clears. Day 3 or 4.
Now you switch strategies. The sun is out. Use your MBU pass. Take the train into Chamonix. Hire a guide, and you absolutely must hire a guide for this. Go up the Aiguille du Midi and ski the Vallée Blanche.
That's the famous 20-kilometer glacier run.
Exactly. You get the high alpine glory, the views, the crevasses, the adrenaline. Then you take the train back to your quiet chalet in Les Houches at the end of the day.
And how do you end the week?
Your legs will be destroyed. Go to the QC Therme Spa in Chamonix. Sit in the outdoor pool. Look at the glacier you just skied and relax. That is the perfect blend of strategy and luxury.
That sounds like a solid plan. Let's wrap this up with our final verdict. We call this the decision matrix. Is Les Houches worth it for you? Let's break it down by traveler type. First up, the backpacker.
Verdict? No. A hard no.
Why?
Logistics. It is too hard to get around without a car, and the accommodation is mostly chalets designed for groups. If you are solo and on a budget, go to a hostel in Chamonix Sud. You'll meet people, you can walk to the lifts. Les Houches is too lonely and spread out for a solo backpacker.
Next, the mid-range couple.
Verdict, yes, absolutely. It's romantic, it's quiet. If you rent a car, it's a great base. You can have those nice farm dinners without the chaos of the main town. It feels like a real retreat.
The family.
Absolutely, yes. This is who the resort was built for. The ski school is excellent, the slopes are safe, and your kids won't get lost because all the runs funnel back to the same places. It's a no-brainer.
The luxury traveler.
No. Go to Mijev.
Wallet.
If you want concierge service, ski valets, Michelin stars, and designer shopping, you won't find it in Les Houches. It's too rustic. Mijev is just down the road, and that is where the luxury is.
And finally, our target listener, the hardcore freerider, the person we started this deep dive with.
This is a conditional? Yes.
What are the conditions?
You must know a storm is coming. That's condition number 1. If it's sunny and hasn't snowed in a week, you will be bored stiff. But if the forecast says heavy snow, high winds, then Les Houches becomes the best spot in the entire valley. It is your safety net.
It sounds like Les Houches is basically the insurance policy of the Chamonix Valley.
That's the perfect description. It guarantees you good skiing when the big names fail. It's not the flashy option, but it's the smart option.
I think this leads us to an interesting closing thought about how we travel in general. We often let Instagram or the hype dictate where we go. We want the highest peak, the steepest run, the most famous name on the map.
We chase the superlatives. We want the photo at the top of the world. But often the best experiences are the quiet ones. The ones that happen in the trees, away from the crowds, while everyone else is fighting for position in a lift line.
It's about looking for that ugly duckling in your next destination. The place the locals go when the weather turns bad. Because usually they know something you don't.
Strategy beats hype every single time.
That's all for this deep dive. Check the snow forecast, watch out for the barbed wire, and we'll see you next time.